Dear son, it's Nathan, and it's time for a dadsplanation. Quickly now, there are two things I want to talk to you about today. The first is children. The reason I want to talk to you about that is because a good friend of mine at work, I mean this in that he is an excellent friend to me, and also that he is an excellent person in and of himself, has just celebrated the birth of his first child, and I couldn't be happier for him. There have been points in your life where this has seemed dangerously close, and points in your life where this has seemed an impossibility. I know that right now we're dealing with much more the latter situation, where I think you believe this will never happen to you, and you may not even consider it a goal. However, I encourage you in it. Having a child is something that is beautiful and broadening and great. And even if you are unable to have a biological child, I look at my relationship with you, and I think, one of the people in the world who has the strongest opinion that a non-biological child is just as emotionally forming on you, just as important and developmental as a biological child. And so no matter which path your life takes, I very much encourage you to keep your mind open to and always think of as a goal at some point wanting to have someone that you can share all of the knowledge you've gained in your life and with whom you can have that special bond. Always seek to have a child. The second thing that I want to talk to you about today is the possible end of dadplanations as we've been doing it. We have been using Malarkey, the game developed and distributed by Patch Products, and we've been using the questions on them to illustrate the way that my dad explained things to me and the way that I think all fathers like to explain things to their children, which is with a certain amount of mystery and awesomeness mixed in with all of the awesomeness that already exists in the world. One of the things that I always felt my dad was teaching me with this was how to discern truth from lies. And what I want to talk to you about today is why I'm doing this, why I'll be contacting Patch Products and asking them for permission to use their game, knowing that this draws attention to me when realistically they would never find my videos on YouTube, or probably never find my videos on YouTube, and wouldn't ask me to stop because I'm not being paid for them right now. Super briefly, we're going to talk about Hiroshima. Hiroshima is a city in Japan where the first nuclear weapon was used against Japan by the United States during the Second World War. Now, there's a lot of history in Hiroshima and Japan in general, but we're going to skip most of that. So, in Japan, it is traditional to write wishes for whatever on pieces of paper or wood and bring them to a temple and leave them. This is done all over the country. However, in Hiroshima, it is particularly unique that these wishes are often carved into stone or engraved in metal. And there is a greater power to these wishes, I believe, both in the minds of everyone who sees them and in the minds of the people who make them, because of that intensive effort. I've heard a number of people tell me that marriage is just a piece of paper, and I don't believe it. And the reason I don't believe it is because I've been to Hiroshima and I've seen the way that that dream is elevated when you make it deeper, when you make it more binding and stronger, you make it more beautiful. And the same is true of marriage. It's not just two people living together with a piece of paper. It is a deeper and more profound statement about who they are, both to themselves and to everyone who can see them and know who they are. The same is true when I asked you to be my son, when I asked to adopt you. It was something that I, in many respects, already had. I was married to your mother. I was living with you. We were a family. Why did I need that? Because for me, the dream didn't stop until I was in full possession of it. And so as I do Dear Son, as I do Dadsplanations, I don't just want to do it. I want to own it completely. I want it to be a part of me as much as I want to be a part of your life. I want these things because I believe them to be beautiful and good. And because I believe them to be beautiful and good, I am willing to risk them all in order to have them fully. That was a long way down the rabbit hole from what we usually do. So, it's time for Dadsplanation. Previously on Dadsplanation, we asked, what is single needle stitching and why do shirts made that way cost more? I told you that it was due to the manner of stitching and the way that it went over the same seams using only a single stitch all the way around the garment. This caused for stronger seams and other stuff. This is actually the truth. Today on Dadsplanation, why is rambling and meaningless language called rigmarole? The city of Riga, which can be found in modern-day Russia, was home to one of the first insane asylums of the world. When people went insane in the area, it was said they were rolling down to Riga. This was eventually turned into rigmarole, or insane babbling. Write a comment downstairs. Let me know what you think of single needle stitching if you're currently desiring a shirt made that way. I know I am. If you believe me about rigmarole, or if you think that's a dadsplanation. Now, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, do the things. I hope to see you again soon, but that's all for today.